And this man had had a lukewarm father in the gospel and a infidel or heathen mother. And he couldn't be very much to begin with. And he become king by rights. And one day he was walking around and fell through the lattice in his house, off of the porch down, and taken sick, and was going to die, he thought. So being an Israelite and king over Israel, he sent two of his trusted servants up to Ekron to find out and consult Beelzebub, the god up there, whether he was going to get well or not. You see, even a man, when he's in a condition like that, there's something in the human being that lets him know that there's something supernatural somewhere. There's somewhere he can touch. Now, he ought not have done that, but he thought no one would know about it but these two men, but somewhere out in a little adobe hut out there in the woods, God spoke to the prophet Elijah. He said, go up and stand in the road. And when these soldiers come by, ask them the question, is there no God in Israel? Is there no prophet in Israel that you could consult, that you'd have to send up to Beelzebub? What a reproach upon the nation. What a reproach it is upon the nation today to find out that people, sometimes who call themselves Christians, go to Ouija boards and spiritualist meetings and all kinds of tommy-rot like that, and fortunes and telling fortunes and things like that, which is of the devil. Is it because there's no God in heaven? Is it because that He doesn't have prophets in His church? Is it because we don't have gifts and revelations and interpretations in the church to consult God? Why would we have to go to such a low, degraded thing as that? God is going to ask us, why? Why? Now, it wasn't because there wasn't a God in Israel. It wasn't because he didn't have a prophet. But it was the king's own evil, stubborn ways is what did it. And it isn't today because the American people flock to seance meetings and devil-possessed things like that to consult for the future. It isn't because that we haven't got a church that's got God in it. It's their own stubborn ways. They don't want to associate with them kind of a people. That's the same thing that this king did not want to associate with Elijah, because Elijah always called out his sin. Sometimes it's rough to serve God. The only one thing to do, that's come to the hewing line. Toe the line with God. Leave your own thoughts go, because God's going to ask for a reason for these things someday. And when we ask to give a reason, then what we're going to answer. Now, and then it was his own stubborn way that he didn't want to have any fellowship with this godly prophet. Yet he was an Israelite. He was in line to have a blessing of God upon him, and was under the blessing by his birthright as being an Israelite, but yet refused to accept God's way and went some other way. God's going to ask us at the day of judgment, why didn't you receive the Holy Ghost? Why wasn't you born to the Spirit? Why wasn't you this way and that way? Was it because we didn't have any church to teach it? Was it because there wasn't a preacher in the land that preached the baptism of the Holy Ghost? Why did you do these things? When God's made a provision and then people refuse to walk in it, then He's going to ask, why?